Good morning, everybody. Welcome to our webinar on From Chaos to Clarity, Strategies for Success with Microsoft Planner Premium. So I'll just introduce myself first, then I'll hand myself over to Greg to do his introduction. So I'm James Maltby-Smith. I'm a senior modern work management consultant working at CPS. I've got over 13 years experience in project program management, ranging from managing projects to working in portfolio offices, and then delivering tools, PPM tools to organizations. Specifically, my experience in that is Microsoft Stack, so Microsoft Project Online, and Microsoft Planner Premium, formerly known as Project for the Web. So that's my intro. I'll hand you over to Greg.
Brilliant. Good morning. My name is Greg Hanson. I'm the commercial sales lead at CPS. I've been with CPS for just coming up a year. However, I have a decade in IT sales and account management. Excited to support James on today's session. If you wouldn't mind just going to the next slide quickly, James.
Sure.
So who are CPS? We're a multi-award winning, multidiscipline Microsoft solutions partner. We've actually just celebrated our 30th birthday just over a week ago. We're headquartered in Reading. We have over 75 knowledge experts across several different practices. It just helps us in order to cover the whole of the Microsoft ecosystem. I'll now pass back to James, and he's going to take you through today's agenda.
Thank you very much, Greg. So today's webinar then. So I intend to do a quick introduction here. So we're going to go through a bit of introduction to change management, an overview of Microsoft Planner Premium, and an overview then of our configured solution. That'll then lead us into a quick demonstration of our CPS Solution Accelerator and end in a Q&A session. I've chucked a poll in the middle there, so you'll have an opportunity to give a little bit of feedback. If you do have any other questions or you want to ask something throughout the call, please do just use the chat section. If my colleague is able to answer them during the call, hopefully that'll be the case. Otherwise, we can just pick them up at the Q&A session at the end. Also, for reference, this will be recorded, so it'll be available to those offline after the webinar has finished. So let's crack on. So change management is a structured approach to transitioning individuals, teams, and organizations from a current state to a desired future state. And it's essential for ensuring successful project outcomes. Breaking that down then, change management ensures a smooth transition from that desired future state through several key components. So starting with change identification, recognizing the need for the change in the first place, and then the fantastic bit of planning piece, so change planning, outlining your steps, resources, and often then those key timelines. Another key one then is your stakeholder engagement, so involving all those affected parties and maintaining clear lines of communication throughout. So then also impact assessment, analysing what the potential effects of the change are to the organisation. Communication, ensuring transparency and addressing any concerns. Training and support to help those employees adopt that change once it gets pushed through. And then implementation, so monitoring and making monitoring progress and making adjustments to that change as it goes through, whilst all covering off continuous evaluation at every step going through, assessing the effectiveness, gathering feedback, and measuring those outcomes as they are being pushed through. Finally, sustainability, then, and making sure that change is embedded into the organization's culture for the long-term benefits. These components help minimize resistance and increase adoption and improve overall organization's performance. So the importance of the change itself then. So change management is crucial for organizations to adopt and adapt to market conditions, technological advancements, and competitive pressures. Effective change management minimizes disruption, reduces risks, and ensures continuity. Engaging employees fosters ownership and boosts morale, while clear communication and training mitigate even resistance. Ultimately, successful change management improves operational efficiency, customer satisfaction, and financial performance, and obviously long-term success. So the common challenges that we experience in change management, resistance to change. So starting from the off, it's the employee's fear of the unknown, or disruptions of their routines can often lead to resistance to that change being implemented in the first place. Lack of leadership support often hinders that momentum of change initiatives. So having that clear line of support through leadership definitely helps to implement change. Inadequate communication leads to lack of clarity and leads to misunderstandings. Unclear objectives. If you've not got clear objectives, then they're difficult to measure. Progress or success is then almost significantly hindered. Insufficient resources, a common one that I'm sure most on the call experience anyway. Whether it's financial, human, or technological, often human in my experience seems to be a common one that's definitely impacts those successful changes. Change fatigue. If an organization is continuously changing, that can lead to burnout and decreased morale, and that definitely has an impact on how change is delivered. A lack of employee engagement, is also critical for success. So making sure you've got that employee engagement, definitely helpful. Complex project management software, it affects morale and data quality, and implementation delays disrupt the process and cause frustration. Addressing these challenges requires careful planning with communication and strong leadership. So leading into our first poll, I'm sure some of you on the call will have experienced some of these problems yourself. So I'll open up to a poll. What's the biggest challenge you face in project management? So just whilst we're on this, you'll probably like to get a pop-up on your screen with your for you to enter your value in or your answer to the question. If you could then enter that in, hit submit, and that will close down. I'll give you a few minutes to chuck in some responses to that question. So yeah, I can see we've got a few responses in there now. So resource availability, yeah, as what I called out earlier, definitely something that I've experienced being on the project management side. Bureaucracy, yeah, definitely seen that a lot as well. So my experience has typically been a lot in the government public sector. So working in defence, police, councils, definitely a lot of bureaucracy in those organisations that need to be got around. Insufficient reporting, yeah, definitely a struggle that I know we've experienced previously. So often data entry into tools, what's the benefit to the user, putting the data in if you're not able to report on it and it be used appropriately. Strategic objectives, benefits, very good ones as well. What is the actual organization trying to achieve and how does it map to those strategic objectives? Very good. Okay. So I'll leave it there on the poll. All very good responses. And if you want to pick up on any of those again later, we can do that in the Q&A. Where I'm going to go now then is we'll walk into a quick overview of Planner Premium and what that offers, and then we'll move on into our demonstration. So Microsoft Planner Premium also formerly known as Project for the Web, just making a shout out there so that it is clear, is a powerful tool designed for project management and enables teams to plan, track, collaborate on projects effectively. Now, out of the box, the tool provides some functionality, but Microsoft have enhanced that with a solution accelerator. So if I go on to the next slide. So it's a modern cloud-based project management solution, and it's integrated to Teams and the Microsoft stack. So it is a useful tool that can be applied across teams and organizations of all sizes. It is built on the Microsoft Power Platform and offers an intuitive interface and resource management, and it integrates seamlessly with Microsoft 365 apps like Teams, as I've mentioned, Power BI, etc. So it supports, in terms of the actual project management and like scheduling elements, supports grid board, like Kanban board and timeline views, making it ideal for both simple tasks as well as complex projects. And it also leverages Power Automate and Dataverse for connections to workflows and data storage, etc. The solution accelerator then that Microsoft have employed on top of that takes the tool one stage further and allows you to do project request management, so evaluate and approve potential change initiatives or projects before they come into fruition. A little bit of prioritization piece in there as well. Program management, the original tool only had a project level, but now has a program level as well. So you can map or group projects to related programs. Has some simple risk and issue tracking to help manage risks and issues effectively. Has a change management log to ensure or help ensure smooth transitions. Has a structured reporting, so Power BI reporting that comes with that out of the box to be able to allow visibility and improve governance of projects. And these enhancements make Planner Premium, a pretty comprehensive PPM solution. But personally, I believe that having a tool that is configurable allows for a better fit for an organization. So, and this tool is exactly that. So I'll move on to our next slide. We've got a overview of our configured solution. So in PPM solutions like Planner Premium, if it's tailored to the business needs, it offers a structured implementation of that change, and can obviously help to embed that change in the organization better. So out of the box never necessarily fits the entire need. So what CPS have done, we've come across or worked with a number of clients, and over a period of time, we've come up with the common changes that we get asked to implement into Planner Premium, and we've produced a solution accelerator, a CPS solution accelerator that enhances Microsoft Project for the Web capability, or Planner Premium, by adding additional features. So additional reports, access controls and templates, and custom homepage, further enhancements to the RAID logs, progress status reporting, baseline capabilities, and a suite of Power BI reports. So there are a number of changes that we've implemented into ours. Common ones, as I said, that we configure for clients include those RAID lessons, stakeholders, and benefits logs. They're often ones that need tweaking to make sure they fit the organization the tool is being embedded in. Obviously, as I've mentioned earlier, one of the common issues is having either too complex IT systems to manage these projects and programs, or they're just not quite fitting the business process as it stands. So it's my intention now to then move on to a practical demonstration where I'll show you the capabilities of our solution accelerator. I'm just going to move that up onto a different screen now, so just 2 seconds whilst I move this out of the way. Okay. So here is the CPS Solution Accelerator. As you can see, we've got a tailored homepage where I've got my tasks, my projects, my risks, my issues, my timesheets even. So I'm not going to delve into all the changes in this tool. I'm just going to pick on some of the ones that I think are going to be relevant in terms of this conversation for change management. So I'm going to start then with just looking at into a project itself. So if I open up a plan here, and we'll open up a project, you can see there are a number of different logs that have been applied against this particular project itself. So we've increased those logs. So there's an additional benefits log here, lessons log, dependencies. The risk and issues logs have been enhanced, and there's baselining capability as well here as an improvement on the out-of-the-box solution. So I'm going to first jump into risks. And again, as I mentioned, these are some of the areas that we commonly get asked to configure for clients. So whilst this is just an example, many different flavors we've got around. So I've just opened up one of these risks. So in this one, quite a simple risk with one probability impact definition criteria here. We have done multiple solutions where organizations, certainly where I've worked in defense, they have lots of different probability and impact criteria. So it might be that you've got a certain type of risk, and therefore you can conditionally format the form to show that right criteria. In this instance, we've just got a simple probability and impact, very low to very high values that equate to a score numerically, so high, medium, low, etc. But as I said, we can implement business rules that if you want a different scoring criteria, that could be implemented in a tool like this, as well as the ability in this example. We've got some customizations here to promote this risk to an issue or to escalate it to program level. Okay, so this is a project risk. So if I wanted to escalate this up to program, I could just click the button up here and escalate that up. Now that then gets managed at the or is visible and can at the program level. So if I just come back to my log, you'll see my risk eventually will move up to the program level. It is also, if I just open, I think I open this one. You can see on the relationships here what level it's being managed at. Okay, so it's moved from project to program. When I go to the program, you'll also see the record is at the program level. Incidentally as well, because of one of these changes that we've implemented here, if I flip across to the risks logs on the left-hand side, so this is all risks across all projects. You can see when you're looking at the entirety of the risk logs, what level they are being managed at. So in this example, we've got a couple at project and some at program. Just different ways of being able to cut and slice the data there. I'll open up that same project again. In addition, then, some of the other logs that have been configured here that aren't in the Microsoft Solution Accelerator, we've got dependencies. So if I just open up dependency log, for example, you can see we've got inbound and outbound dependencies. So you can enter in a dependency on the system, specify which responsible providing project and which dependent project on the system using a lookup, and that will then implement that dependency between the two parties. And if both projects exist on the system, they will be visible in both projects. Obviously with some key metadata there, including timelines, features, etc. at the bottom of the page. Additional features then that have also been implemented by CPS then, just to point out another one that will probably help in terms of management, status reporting here. So if I flip back to this tab, the ability to do that highlight reporting type regular cadence of activity. So quite often we get asked to implement this in solutions. Now, we've done ones where they're automated, where it could be that actually on the 1st of every month, it will take a copy of what the current confidence rags are overall, and then time, cost, quality, resources, and to create a record of that at a point in time. Equally, in the ribbon at the top, you can see we've got a customized publish status button. So if I hit that, run the flow in the background and take a copy of that rags and narrative as a record at a point in time. So whether that is a automated on a regular cadence or individual project submit, something like that, allows them to be able to provide highlight report type data to support project delivery. Again, looking over on the left-hand side, then we can look at lessons just very quickly. You can see again a whole log that contains all lessons across all projects and programs within the system, and these then can also be swept up into a reporting suite. But as you can see, quite a few logs have been added to this solution. These are the ones we commonly get asked to do, and whilst these are relatively straightforward and simple, making sure that they are, meeting the processes that are currently employed by the business certainly helps to smooth how change is rolled out across an organisation. Which probably leads me on to then some reporting. So we've got a number of reporting packs in here. I'll just quickly skim through this one just to link it to the data that you've probably just seen me tweak around with. So this is embedded within the app. It's Power BI reporting pack, and that can obviously be opened up in Power BI service, but currently is embedded within the app. So from a user perspective, all looks like it's in the same place. So we were looking at risks. So again, if I flip to risks and issues, you can be able to see here on this one, we've got that risk and issue data pulling through. It can obviously be, cut and slice. So if I want to see which ones are being managed at program level, you can apply filters and so on and so forth. So just showing you where the data comes in. And obviously if you wanted to reference back to it, so risk 1029, you can go back to that project and open that up and make amendments to it. Dependencies then, just quickly again, so showing you how the dependencies come through. So this is pulling through a Sankey visual, but you can see if I pick on a project, you can see where its touch points are in terms of those dependencies that have been built into the system, and the visual can be moved around to make sure it's more aesthetically pleasing to user when you've embedded it in. So from our perspective, having solutions customized to meet your business processes is key to embedding success for changes as they're implemented into organizations. So having fixed rigid tools, they have their value to a certain degree, but having the ability to be able to implement something that meets the current processes within the organization, even being that they might be opportunities to improve or enhance those, that is also something that is often done. But that's a very quick whistle stop tour of some of the features that we've got in our solution accelerator, and how they might want to be utilized or used. So I'll flip back to my slides now. So we'll now open the floor to any questions. So feel free to ask any questions about the topics covered in the webinar, and we'll hopefully provide a full insight or clarification on anything you've got. I don't know, let me just bring the questions down here so I can see them, see if there's anything come through. So not got any questions just yet.
You see that one, James?
I can't, no.
Read it out quickly. So we have already started using Planner Premium. Can we adapt it to include some customizations that you have demonstrated?
Yes. So it very much depends on the installation you've already got. So if it's in the default environment, that might be a concern, because whilst it gives you most of the new features that Microsoft push out, it's not necessarily the environment where we would typically install it. It's recommended that you actually have your own custom environment that you put your solution in. If it's not in the default environment, then yeah, we can obviously, depending on how far you've gone in implementing the solution, this is modular. We can add the kind of things that we've demonstrated on top of what you've currently done, so you won't lose that. Or obviously, depending on how well that's landed, whether you want to implement something from scratch. The only thing to note is that if you've already got data in it, depending on if it's in a default environment or not, you might choose to continue with that, or potentially have to pay some additional fees for migration of that data. It's not something easily to extract otherwise.
That's it for questions, looks like.
Okay.
Brilliant. So how can we help? Are you in that early stage of considering a move to Microsoft tools? We can use our experience to help create a compelling business case. Are you ready for Planner? Have you got those prerequisites sorted out? We need to make sure that before change happens, that you've considered all the right variables. So, we can absolutely help with that side of things too. And then finally, change management. I noticed actually one of the polled answers was resistance to change. So, we understand better than most that changing tools can seem scary for some individuals. So we take a huge amount of care in ensuring your team will adopt the new tool effectively. In terms of what's next, for everyone attending today, we are offering an hour's free consultation with one of our specialists to get you started on the journey. Whether you are using the tool at the moment, like Aisling, seems like they're considering adding and maybe adding some accelerator elements to it, or using a third-party tool and haven't considered Project for the Web before, reach out to us. We can have a chat, and you can reach out to me directly, or you can find us on our website.
Thank you very much, Greg. Yeah, so final one then from me is a quick thank you to everybody for joining the call today. I've just quick overview of what I've walked through today then. So I've given an introduction to change management, an overview of Microsoft Planner Premium and the Microsoft Solution Accelerator, a very brief overview of some of the elements of a configured solution, which is our CPS Solution Accelerator, which I then walked into a demonstration of some of the capabilities of that tool, and demonstrating the benefits of how that can be, using a configured solution can help implement change in an organization. Otherwise, as Greg mentioned, our contact details are on screen, so please feel free to hit us up with any questions you might have. Otherwise, thank you very much for your time.
Brilliant. Thanks, everybody.